Hey cuties, PeachY here, welcome back to a new video, and in this video I'm going to be breaking down the latest episode, Nightmare Nightmare Part 1 and Part 2, where obviously we get the introduction to Abbey Abominable, so stay tuned and let's get into it. Here we are live. We're going to start off with Nightmare Nightmare Part 1. So it started off with Draculaura, narrating how she never got to plan her ideal Nightmare, feast. And she's been preparing all these activities, and there's a ton of stuff here in his coffin that she then shrunk it down, and they're all going to her dad's like chateau or something up in the mountains. Heath, Laguna, Claude are joining Frankie, Claudine, and Draculaura because the others cannot join. Cleo is going to the pyramids. We look at this cute little the scarabs here holding the reflective panels for good lighting, and then all her luggage. Deuce and Manny, I love to see this interaction. They're actually going to Mount Olympus, which that makes sense. I mean, I knew obviously Manny is related to the Minotaur. They're both like related to the Olympic, like the Greek gods, mythological creatures, so obviously they would both be headed to the same direction in Mount Olympus, going to party. I hope we get to see more interactions with these two characters. And then Spectra is heading to the phantom space or whatever that is. I hope we get to see all these places sooner or later in the show, the pyramids, phantom space, and then also Mount Olympus. And Gulia actually is not much in this episode. Gulia goes off to do this undead competition, and it's kind of weird because we had this whole interview with Gulia and her voice actress Felicia Day, but she basically has like one line and that's it. Like, she doesn't appear anywhere else in these two episodes. So it's kind of weird that they put such a highlight on her character when she really has nothing to do. She's like here in this scene and then she goes off skateboarding, so that's kind of a shame. But Heath talks about how, up in the mountains, they hope to not encounter any Yetis because Yetis and, people from his kind don't mesh very well. They kind of clash. So he's kind of scared. But Draculaura says that there should not be any worry about that because they're on a different mountain. So let's see how that, we already know how it's going to work out. But so we arrive to her chateau, to Draculaura's chateau here, and look at these little bat shaped snow peaks or whatever, or maybe it's just like covered in snow and it's actually like wood. I don't know. It looks so cute. It's up in the mountains and there's a blizzard, and actually there's a reason for the blizzard. We'll get to that later on, which is very it's really cool how that ties back in. Now it's really dark and gloomy in the chateau. At first it's like, is it haunted? They're kind of wondering like what is up with all these traps as well, these spiky traps. You might have guessed it's probably to do something with Abbey, and you guessed right, because Abbey is actually hiding in this chateau from the blizzard. Then Draculaura can't even work her magic anymore because it's too high in elevation, and so witchcraft works differently on different elevations. Now the gang splits up to find some fun activities since she can't regrow the coffin that has all the activities and stuff in there. They have to find other stuff to do around the chateau. So Frankie and Laguna find some board games. Claudine and Draculaura find a mistletoe, but here it's just a bunch of dangling toes. I forgot how it's called, but it's kind of icky. So that's kind of funny that that's like the equivalent of a mistletoe here in the monster universe. Claude and Heath find the pantry with all the food, and Heath almost gets stabbed by the icicles once again. So they start their party with some soda cans, I assume, or I don't know what this is. Claude starts to tell a story, and the story is obviously about Yetis, and everyone gets super creeped out, and then they get scared by Draculaura's ringtone to remind everyone to keep on schedule, which now would have been to sing her song that she wrote for this occasion. Now, in the meantime, there's a whole like earthquake happening, and at first we thought it was like the bass, but it's actually actually not, and it's actually coming from outside. So Claudine goes outside to check, and then a huge pile of snow comes on top of her, and we can see Abbey here comes out of the snow, and everyone already immediately gets ready to fight, which is really awesome. And then first of all, can we just take a moment to appreciate Abby's shoes? I mean, they look so cute. Like, I love the wedges. I love the painted toenails. Like, are you kidding me? Yes, they better translate these shoes perfectly to the doll version because I love them already. But Abbey comes out of the snow and explains that she means no harm. You know, she was trying to hide up on the roof, but obviously it's slippery, so she fell on top of Claudine, and she gets to go inside, and we get this cute little interaction, the first interaction between a new G3 Heath and Abbey. So she asks, "Can I come in, fiery one?" And he's like, oh, he's like flabbergasted. He's like, "Oh my god, look at his goddess in front of me." It's so iconic, and also it's perfect because obviously she's taller than him. I already loved him so much. I ship him hard, and this is so cute. So you can see from now on, the rest of the episode, whenever you see Heath acting specifically, to impress Abbey in some way or another, he's like always trying to impress her. So it's really cute. As she sits down and gets ready to explain what was happening, Heath comes in and he gives her a glass of water, which is super cute. He accidentally calls her pretty, and she's like, "Oh, that's so cute." It's so sweet. But because Abby is kind of clumsy now, she kind of spills the water, and they accidentally touch like their hands. So, and we see a little sizzle here where Heath got wet with the water. So we can really tell that there's seriously some Heath like warmth, and then the ice, the cold of both their skins touching. It definitely creates some kind of friction. So this is going to be very interesting to see how it's going to work out in the future, because it was never this severe like in the original. Like, obviously they were like warmer and colder, but like they could touch and stuff. I don't think it was like this severe where it would sizzle. So let's see how this works out. I feel like it's definitely a very cool visual effect to have, especially her nails. Look at her nails. I love her long nails as well. Laguna actually refills her glass of water, saying that this is how she breathes on land. She basically just inhales the water that's the vapor in the air or something like that. So that's very interesting. I just assumed she would be able to breathe on land, but I guess there's an actual explanation here. So I appreciate that a lot. I feel like that also explains how she is able to conjure up water whenever she wants. Like, she definitely has water powers, and this is the reason why. Abbey starts to explain now that her mom said she's brave and she can totally go on her little solo adventure, and everyone's super impressed. Claude saying like, "That's insane, you can go on this like adventure up in the mountains with a snowboard." Everyone's totally impressed, and then she says, "Yeah, but it gets really lonely out here." And so she kind of doesn't have anywhere to go, and then the blizzard started, so she had to hide in the chateau. And then the others kind of like welcome her into the party so she can stay, and then she's super grateful. So that's really cute. Everyone wants to play a game next, so she comes up with all these snowballs. She creates all these snowballs, and it creates this huge tower that kind of starts to get too big, and it actually falls on top of Laguna. They were all scared that she would suffocate or whatever. Now getting into part 2, we started off with Laguna. Obviously she's fine, she's not dead or something. She comes out of this huge snow pile shooting ice snowballs, and everyone gets into this huge snowball fight. And Abbey explains a little more about her powers, which Yetis can even manipulate the cold weather like her mom can. She's not there yet, so she can only create like snowballs and such. Now she kind of slips up calling her trip a backpacking trip instead of like the snowboarding trip, so her story here is kind of faltering, and Draculaura sees right through her. Draculaura feels left out, so she goes to the basement to work on her witchcraft powers, and Abbey joins her shortly after, noticing that she can tell. She says that some Yetis have this power that they can tell when there's like an emotional sadness for someone else, and so she can tell that she's not doing well. Now Draculaura explains that the whole evening kind of got ruined and it didn't go as planned. She asks her why isn't she celebrating Nightmare with her friends, and Abbey says she doesn't have any friends except for Shiver, who is confirmed to still be in this generation, which I love. Shiver is Abby's original pet, a mammoth. Dracula says that she kind of feels jealous of Abbey, and Abbey says, what, jealous of me? No, I'm jealous of you, because Dracula has all these friends, and she can go to Monster High. And then we get to some lore, which is that apparently Yetis are not able to go to Monster High because of their weather powers being slightly too dangerous. Now we get into the true story of what is happening with Abbey. So Abbey is not actually on a trip with her mother's consent. They actually got into a huge fight, and then she stormed off getting some fresh air, and then got lost in the snow, and the blizzard got worse because of her mom worrying. And so Dracula swears to help her and get her into Monster High. Back at Monster High, we can see that not everything's going well, because the headmistress actually calls the chateau and tells them that there's a Yeti mother here, saying that, you know, they're hiding Abbey, like she's looking for Abbey, and the mom thinks that Abby's like hiding here in Monster High, but obviously that's not the case. So everyone gets super worried, and Dracula has a plan as to how to get back to Monster High. Thanks to the Ghoulmobile that's there, they drive down the mountain to reach a certain height so Dracula can use her magic again. Now, it's really cute here. We can see Dracula and Claude are in the front seats. And it's weird because I would have thought they would have, more interactions, but this is actually one of the only 2 interactions that they have, so it's kind of not many, but they look cute together. The plan is to get over the bridge, and then she can like magic them out of there and back to Monster High. But lo and behold, the bridge is actually collapsed, and so Abbey works her magic, creating a ice bridge. And we also get another cute moment here with Abbey and Heath. Heath calling her beautiful and like super confident and brave and powerful, and so she gets a super boost out of that, and they're so cute. I can't. It's so cute. So she creates the ice bridge. They don't die. That's great. And then they go back to Monster High. Meantime, at Monster High, the Abby's mom is very close to actually, doing some real damage here to the headmistress. We can see that she has full control of her powers. She looks awesome. But then thankfully they get in. Again, those shoes, girl. Oh my God. Where did you get them? I need the listing now. It's so cute. And the pants, I love the slit, and she just looks awesome. So the mom is super relieved to have Abbey back, and then they kind of storm out because, obviously she's kind of upset. Dracula and the others catch up to them before they can leave to give this whole speech that's a Monster High for everyone. And, they just met Abbey, but they can already tell she's a very powerful and wonderful Yeti. And Abby's just really adorable here. I love her reactions. And they even get a little moment between Heath and Abbey. Heath saying that when you stop expecting, you start experiencing amazing stuff, and he's really sad that they never even got to meet any sooner. And calling Abbey Snow Angel just like her mom. It's so cute, and I just love their interactions. I really hope that they can have many more scenes together very soon. Dracula, explains more about how this is not the feast she expected, blah blah blah, and how they should totally let Yetis get back into Monster High. And then the headmistress actually explains that the Yetis have been able to come to Monster High for a while now, but that message has gotten lost in the snowstorm. So they actually have been secluded in the mountains for no reason, because they have been allowed. It's just they never got the message. So Abby's mom lets her go to Monster High if that's what she wants, and everyone's super happy. Now going back to Nightmare, everyone's just celebrating here at Monster High now instead. Everyone's here. Ghoulia, Spectre, Manitor, Deuce, Cleo, they're all here at the end. And Dracula gets to perform her song finally, which actually turns out to be a full-on group song, which is so nice. We can see more of the characters here in shots, Finnegan and Ghoulia, and they all look really cool. Here, look, we have a shot with Cleo and Deuce. They still haven't had a single interaction, which is insane. And yeah, look, Abby's mom is even still here, building an ice sculpture of the headmistress. And we have this cute little interaction between Claude and Dracula. It's just a look, but it's just really cute. So it's really all going well. Look, even Torlai. Look, even Toralei is blessing us with her presence here, even though she had nothing to do in this episode. She was never in this episode once. She never made an appearance, but here she is gracing us. So random, but she's here. Now, at the very end, Heath and Abbey are actually under the mistletoe. And so Heath says, you know what this means, right? Getting ready to kiss her. And Abbey says, yes, it means that I'm going to Monster High finally. And because she's so excited, she bursts out of excitement, all the snow down on everyone else. And so everyone's covered in snow piles. So this is actually the end of Nightmare Nightmare Part 2. And that was the video. I really enjoyed the episode. I loved Abbey's introduction, Abbey's mom. I hope we get to see more of the monster families introduced, and it really feels more like they're all together. I loved Abbey's and Heath's interactions. I just know they're gonna be such a cute couple. And as far as her changes go, yes, she's a little more clumsy, but to me, she's still Abbey, and that just means she has another character trait. I don't think it's like that bad. I will say though, if they don't have a sparkly skin on her doll, it's gonna be a little bit disappointing, just because the sparkly skin really is something special for Abbey dolls. So I hope they keep that. Maybe they won't, because obviously in the show we just saw in the pictures, she doesn't have sparkly skin, or at least there's no hint of it. So I don't think she will, but maybe, who knows? Maybe a little sparkle here and there. She does have some like little purple spaces like on her face, like on her nose, to show that it's like cold. So I really hope they keep those little touches of cold weather ambient on her doll to make her more unique. But overall, I love Abbey. I love Abbey's and Heath's interactions, and I can't wait to see more. Leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you haven't already, so you don't miss out when I post more content like this coming your way daily and keeping you up to date with all the doll tea you love. Stay safe, be kind. I hope this next time. Stay peachy. Kisses.